Hey everybody, today we're going to do Trumpet Voluntary by Jeremiah Clark. First, let's just do a quick little warm-up. We're going to start on middle G and go down to low C, half notes on each note. And then we're going to go down through the different fingerings, so second valve, first valve, 1 and 2, 2 and 3, 1 and 3, and then 1, 2, and 3. Here we go, 1, 2, 3, 4. Rest, 2, 3. First valve coming up, 2, 3. 1 and 2 next. 2 and 3. 1 and 3 next. 1, 2 and 3. 1. Good. Now let's continue a little bit more warm up. Let's play the C major scale. So we're going to do each note going up as quarter notes. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, up to high C. Starting low. And tongue each note, think da. Alright, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Alright, so we're a little bit warmed up now. Let's try the piece. So this piece is divided up into two parts. Let's just do the first trumpet part first. So this one starts on high C. And if you look at the second measure, you got that repeat sign. That means repeat the previous measure. So you play the first measure 2 times in a row, and then you're at measure 3, where the main melody starts. Okay, so let's do it kind of slow to start off. Like da, 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 da. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Take a little break. So that was playing to the end of the first ending, and then there's a repeat sign. You go, and then you go back in the piece to look at measure 3. You see the forward repeats. So that means you go back to that point, and then you play again. But then the second time through, you skip the first ending and you jump right to the second ending when you get to it. But actually, they're almost exactly the same. So they're going to sound very similar. Okay. So we just played it the first time. Now we're going to repeat. This is at measure 3, the second time through. First trumpet part. 1, 2, 3. Okay, good. So the only difference between the first and the second endings for the first trumpet part is the first ending is a dotted half note on the F, and that's 3 beats. And the second ending is a whole note, which is 4 beats on the F. And you'll also notice, you might have noticed I made a little mistake there at the first measure of the second line. Instead of holding that G for 2 beats, I just held it for 1, and then I played 3 low Cs instead of 2 as quarter notes. So you might have caught that, maybe not. Okay, so then other things to notice in what we just played, dotted quarter notes are 1.5 beats long. So measure 4 of the whole piece, you have an A dotted quarter note, so that you hold it for, that one starts on the downbeat, so it gets 2 downbeats, and on the second upbeat, you go to that B flat, which is first valve. So it's da, 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 da. and that you also have a dotted quarter note, the third measure of the second line. It's the same exact rhythm and notes. And you have one more dotted quarter than the measure right after that. Other things to notice. Let's see. The measure right before the first ending. You have the first two notes are slurred, and then the second two notes are tongued, and then you have a dotted quarter note to an eighth. So that's da 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 da. Let me just play that once. 3, 4. So that's a little tricky to get all the details in that measure. Maybe try that right now. Okay, so now let's look at the bottom part. So this one starts on a high A. It's still kind of high to start on. It's this note. So you start there. You go da 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 da, and then lower, bum 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 bum, and then you're into the piece. Mostly the same rhythms as the top part. Sometimes a couple less notes. Okay, let's try it. Second trumpet from the beginning. 1, 2, 3. So that was to the end of the first ending. This part also repeats back to measure 3, and then you take the second ending. But similar to the first trumpet part, the first and the second endings are the same notes. Just a difference of one beat. The first ending's dotted half note, the second ending's a whole note. Let's just try the second trumpet part, the measure right before the first ending, to see if we can get that right with all the details. So again, you slur the first two eighth notes. Da, ha, you connect it with the air, you don't stop the air. And then you do the same two notes but tongued, so you go da, ha, da, 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 for the articulation. Okay, let's play that. 2, 3, 4. Also, a dotted half note is 3 beats long. Like in the fourth measure of the piece, you have a dotted half note. That's 3 beats long. Okay, so now let's just take the time and play them both one more time. And you can use this as a practice to play along with me, the same part that I'm playing. Or you could play the opposite part so that you hear the harmonies. So I'm going to first just start at the beginning and play the first trumpet part. And then we'll take a brief break, and then I'll play the whole thing from the beginning, the second trumpet part. I'm not going to do the repeats though this time, just to save time. So just the beginning straight to the end of the first ending and then stop. So here's the first trumpet part. It starts on high C. And if you're playing the second trumpet part, you'd play this note. Okay, so practice your note. Make sure you have the right starting pitch. They're both pretty high. So for the higher notes, raise your tongue level like you're saying E, and you have to blow the air a little bit faster. Small stream of air though. Okay, here we go. This is the first trumpet. 1, 2, 3. Okay, good. Now I'm going to play the second trumpet part. So again, you could play unison with me on the bottom, or you could jump to the top part and see what it sounds like with the harmony. Now just notice that occasionally the rhythms will be slightly different between the first and the second trumpet parts. Like the fourth measure of the song, the first trumpet part has more notes than the bottom part. So if you're playing the top part, don't worry if you're playing more notes than me. That means you're doing it right. Okay, so this is the bottom trumpet part starting note. And the top trumpet, if you're playing trumpet 1, would start on. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3. All right. Hope you had fun playing Trumpet Voluntary with me. Keep joining us for more of these classes and enjoy your practicing.